What a Sunday afternoon it was in Philadelphia, folks. The Lincoln Financial Field crowd was electric, and for good reason. The Philadelphia Eagles reminded the entire NFL that when their offense finds its rhythm, they're one of the most dangerous teams in football. The headlines everywhere this morning read the same. Jalen Hurts made Eagles history in a thrilling win over the Minnesota Vikings, and what a performance it was. Now, let's set the scene. Coming into this game, the talk around Philly, and really, across the league, was all about the Eagles' passing struggles. The narrative was simple. Can Hurts deliver through the air when the run game isn't working? Critics pointed fingers, analysts raised eyebrows, and fans? Well, they were anxious for answers. And boy, did they get them. The running game wasn't explosive this time. Saquon Barkley, the big off-season addition, was held to just 44 yards on 18 carries. Rookie Tank Bigsby only managed 11 on one attempt. On paper, that's a quiet ground attack. But as the great Brian Dawkins once said, it's not about how you start, it's about how you respond. And Jalen Hurts responded like a man on a mission. 19 completions on 23 attempts. 326 passing yards. 3 touchdowns. 0 interceptions. Hurts was surgical. Calm, composed, confident. It was as if the field slowed down for him. Every throw, every read, every adjustment felt deliberate. You could sense the chemistry between him and his top targets, Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, clicking at a championship level. Let's talk about Devonta Smith first. The Slim Reaper lived up to his nickname with a career-high 183 receiving yards on 9 catches, including a 54-yard touchdown that had the crowd chanting, "Fly, Eagles, fly," before he even crossed the goal line. Smith's 183 yards are the most by any NFL player this season. And A.J. Brown? He wasn't far behind. 4 catches, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Both scores came on perfectly timed routes, showcasing the trust that's been building between him and Hurts since last season. But let's circle back to the man of the hour, Jalen Hurts. What he did Sunday wasn't just another good game. It was historic. Hurts joined an elite club, becoming only the 3rd quarterback in Eagles history to post a perfect passer rating, 158.3. Only 2 others have done it before him. Donovan McNabb in 2007 and Nick Foles in 2013. And yes, that's the same Nick Foles who brought Philly its first ever Super Bowl title in 2018. So what does this mean? It's more than just numbers on a stat sheet. It's a statement. Jalen Hurts is saying, I hear the criticism, and here's my answer. If you've followed Hurts since Alabama, you know resilience is in his DNA. Benched for Tua Tagovailoa in a national championship game? He didn't sulk. He transferred to Oklahoma, rebuilt his game, and became a Heisman finalist. Drafted by the Eagles in 2020 to a chorus of doubters, he turned them into believers. And now, in 2025, he's etching his name deeper into franchise lore. Through 7 weeks, the Eagles sit at 5-2. Hurts' numbers are elite. He's completing nearly 70% of his passes, a career high, and has thrown for 1,498 yards, 11 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. He's also added 185 rushing yards and 5 rushing scores, proving he's still the dual-threat maestro we've come to know. When you look at the evolution of this Eagles team, it's remarkable. Just a few years ago, Philadelphia's offensive identity revolved around the ground game, pounding the rock, controlling the clock, wearing defenses down. But this version, it's balanced, explosive, adaptable. And that's exactly what head coach Nick Sirianni envisioned when he took the reins. Sirianni himself said after the game, in that fiery, passionate tone Eagles fans love, "We don't flinch. This team finds ways to win, no matter what's working or not." That's Philly football. You could feel the pride in his words. Now, let's zoom out. The Eagles' passing resurgence doesn't just bode well for the short term. It has playoff implications. Because if this passing attack continues to develop at this pace, Hurts distributing the ball like an orchestra conductor, Smith slicing through secondaries, Brown breaking tackles after the catch, we could be talking about another deep playoff run. And history suggests when the Eagles' offense hits its stride, special things happen. Remember 2017? That underdog run that ended in a Super Bowl parade down Broad Street? It all started with an offense that could hurt you in a dozen different ways. Now, with Hurts maturing into one of the most cerebral quarterbacks in the league, it's not far-fetched to think another magical January could be brewing in Philly. Fans at Lincoln Financial Field know this feeling all too well. That electricity when the offense hums, when the defense feeds off the crowd, when every third down stop feels like a heavyweight punch. The Eagles faithful, the most passionate fan base in the NFL, have stood by this team through highs, lows, and everything in between. Sunday's win wasn't just a victory, it was a reminder. Let's not forget, this was against a tough Minnesota defense. The Vikings came in hot, led by a secondary that had stifled quarterbacks all season. But Hurts dismantled them piece by piece, with patience, precision, and poise. And here's a fun trivia nugget. This is the first time since 1960 that the Eagles have had two receivers go over 120 yards in the same game twice in one season. Even veteran center Jason Kelce, the heartbeat of this locker room, couldn't contain his excitement after the game. In a fictional but very believable quote, he laughed, "When you've got a quarterback playing like that, my job gets a lot easier. I just snap the ball and enjoy the show." Classic Kelce humor, but there's truth in it, because this offensive line gave Hurts all the time he needed. So where do the Eagles go from here? They've got momentum, swagger, and a quarterback rewriting records. The next few weeks will be telling. Big divisional matchups against the Cowboys and Giants loom large. But if Hurts keeps playing at this level, there's no reason Philadelphia can't push for the conference's top seed. And let's be honest, the idea of another playoff run through Lincoln Financial Field sends chills down every opponent's spine. That place turns into a fortress in January. The chants, the cold, the crowd noise, it's unlike anything else in the NFL. So, Eagles fans, take a breath and soak this one in. You just witnessed history. Jalen Hurts didn't just silence his critics. He reminded the world that the road to the Super Bowl still runs through Philadelphia. And as the sun sets over the skyline, one thing's for sure. When Hurts is in this kind of form, when Smith and Brown are catching fire, and when that Philly crowd is singing "Fly Eagles Fly" in unison, anything is possible. This isn't just another win. It's a statement. The Eagles are back to soaring heights, and they're not coming down anytime soon.